Meghan, Harry, and tyranny. What do Meghan and Harry have to do with tyranny? That's coming into our society right now. It's here already, in fact. I'm going to show that in this video. How Harry, the author of a book titled Political Ponerology, a Polish dissident named Andrew, I believe I'm pronouncing this correctly, Lebowski. Apologies, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Well, anyways, he lived in Poland when it was occupied, taken over by communism. So tyranny moved into his country. He was a psychologist studying psychology in university when the communists took over and began using their sort of DEI type of organization where they put in people who were not qualified into positions of professors and administrators at his university and all the universities, which which is what major way that communism was brought into his country. And very similar to today with the left agendas coming in through the universities first and the government as well. But anyways, he's pointing out the psychology behind tyranny coming in, whether it's communism or fascism or Nazis, whatever it is. In his case, it was communism in 1940s Poland. And he escaped and moved to America and was able to gather what evidence he could to describe what he noticed what was going on and how tyranny is integrated into society, how it works from a psychological level. And in order to fully appreciate it, you need to know about psychopaths. There's a certain segment of the population who are psychopaths. These are people who love to torture and kill animals and people. They have no regard for life and they love power. They crave power. They'll do anything for it, including murdering. And these are um, when they get in charge in positions of power, they influence the others who work underneath them, as shown by the Milgram experiments, which shows that even ordinary people who are not psychopaths will follow orders, right? They'll do what they're told, even though they know it's wrong, like buzzing victims to death, right? So we're seeing this play out not only with schools, but especially with the recent COVID psyop that we just experienced, and that everyone was forced to, that the tyrants, the psychopaths on top said, you can't go to school, you can't go to work unless you get the you know what. And that includes in hospitals. You can't go to a hospital, you can't go to a nursing home. So all the dutiful Milgram experiment subjects did what they were told. And it's to the point now where doctors and nurses will actually sit back and allow someone to suffer and die, someone they could help, all because they didn't do what the dictator told them to. So it's still going on today, and it's not only affecting hospitals, but our court systems as well. And it's something that in his book, Ponerology, he describes how to help reverse this. First recognizing it, that you get the psychopath on top and these Milgram experiment zombies underneath them doing what they're told, following orders. And how does this relate to Harry and Meghan? Well, with Harry and Meghan, we saw them do their own little tyrannical dictatorship, right? So you have suddenly Meghan, who's a psychopath, in my opinion, she marries a powerful person. So suddenly she has power. And that's when you start hearing all these horrendous stories. I mean, she was always craving power before and acting all powerful and bullying people around, but now she had real power as a member of the royal family. So now suddenly they're using Chinese Communist Party tactics of exposing and ridiculing private citizens, that she doesn't like what they said about her online, and also with her by hiring a Sussex squad. And you're all familiar, many of you are, how abusive they would rip people down offline, and they're very evil and violent, and they've made nasty videos. Most of them have been taken down now, but some of them, I have some recordings. But the point is, they were like a little militia for Harry and Meghan. They were their red shirts or their black brown shirts, whatever you want to call them. They were their army. So this is, they're following orders, right? So the Sussex Squad wouldn't exist if it weren't for Harry and Meghan dictating the orders to them. So you're sort of seeing a microcosm of a tyranny there online with Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad. But if you expand it out and look at the governments at the World Economic Forum, global leaders, who I believe their school, I'm assuming that the school, the Global Leader School, is basically teaching them to be psychopaths. Which, by the way, that's what Nexium cult was all about, trying to train people to become psychopaths. Which I find interesting. So you put these, what these, to bring in tyranny, communism, whatever. What you do again, you get psychopaths, put them in charge, then they purge out the good moral people and the talented people who have skills, and they bring in with their DIE rationale of no, we need more of our militant, ideologically obedient members to come in and take more positions of power in companies, and then all the regular citizens who are part of a Milgram experiment of tyranny will go along to get along, right? So this is what you're seeing play out. And until people realize what's going on and what they're doing, they need to stop it. Stop going along to get along. Stop listening to the psychopaths and, follow your moral and ethical and obligations in society the way it's supposed to be. And that's not following the diktats of tyrants and petty tyrants.